Sometimes people's stories are worth telling just because of their ability to inspire, maybe even awaken us. We recently met a young lady with quite a story of her own. Her name is Annie. She shatters stereotypes and is so determined to push her own personal envelope that she'll try just about anything. WHNT News 19's David Wood introduces you to Annie's latest passion and explains why she's nowhere close to done yet.
Ask any ballroom dance instructor about the prospect of teaching a novice to proficiently paso doble, quick step, or tango. They tell you it's certainly going to take plenty of practice and willingness to work hard. Tell the instructor to then imagine their fledgling student has been blind since birth, and they're likely to look at you as if you've shuffled one too many continuous cha-cha rounds in an all-night dance till you drop Latin rhythm competition. Those among us who share a mastery of fanciful footwork also share poise, dedication, agility, and vision. And I don't mean creative foresight or artistic intuition. By vision, I mean the ability to actually see. How, after all, could one expect to study, observe, absorb, and then replicate specific dance maneuvers without the benefit of sight? There is no braille for dance steps.
In dancing, sight is probably the primary means of communication, and that's gone. And so you have to figure out creative ways to communicate.
Professionals not quite bold enough to characterize the thought of instructing a blind dancer as impossible would likely at least admit the effort and the outcome, while admirable, may not be pretty. Enter 19-year-old Annie Park to prove them all wrong.
It has taken a lot of practices, technique, working.
Bob Pratico and his wife Debbie have danced competition stages all over the world. When they heard about Annie's desire to dance, they offered her free lessons. Atlanta dancer Yari Muller also gave up some of his Saturdays to dance with the team.
I tried the first night and loved it. Wow. I've always wanted to learn to dance my whole life.
Waltz has rise and fall. Remember the pendulum? 1, 2, 3.
Teaching ballroom dance to a blind student is a tedious, hands-on process.
Open up and make that beautiful shape, and then we swing down powerfully into the 1 and come up to 2 to the 3.
Annie has to feel her way through each lesson.
And this is the typical move you maintain throughout waltz. Right? Tango, on the other hand, let us get into tango now with your feet.
She uses her hands to gauge tension, framing, and position demonstrated by Bob and Debbie, pose by pose.
Until you get used to this position, it is going to feel like your body is being forced into a pretzel.
Step by step.
Very quickly, it'll feel very natural.
I think that's the most unique way to teach the frame, because it really showed me what it really is supposed to feel like.
What's most remarkable is not Annie's dance progress, but the intricate steps it took to get her here. In 1999, Terry and Sybil Park of Huntsville were working as missionaries in Russian orphanages. That's where they met Nekludneva Margarita Nikolvana, a 4-year-old blind orphan with rags for clothes, ill-fitting boots, and a blank stare.
One of the workers there said, well, we have this little blind girl here. And we said, well, where? We've never seen her. And she said, well, she's over there. And sure enough, there was a little girl over there sitting in a chair with her head down. And she looked like she was in a stupor. And come to find out later, they were giving her phenobarbital, and so it made her very sleepy. Well, we went over there and picked her up, and right then, God said, I want you to adopt this child.
The Parks fell in love with Annie, but it would take much more than prayers and love to make her theirs. Firstly, the potential foster parents far exceeded the age for Russian adoption. The Parks were also told Annie would never amount to anything. Why would they choose a blind child, locals asked? It took months of applications, questions, setbacks, and even court battles abroad before Nekludneva could officially become known as Annie Rita Park.
God asks you to do something, even though you may think it's totally impossible, He'll make it happen. And every time during this adoption process that we ran up against a brick wall, He provided somebody to come in and help us get around that wall.
I want you to put one foot in front of the other so that they're, yes.
And it's a good thing, too. In her senior year at the Alabama School for the Blind, Annie is a straight A student, also taking on swimming, track, band, chorus, piano, violin, and now the dance floor.
Now, she doesn't know that she's handicapped. She can do anything a sighted person can do except drive a car. So she told her dad She said, well, Papa, you can tell me where to turn, and I can press the pedals.
Let me share with you a true story.
This is the night of Annie's first public performance,
And I'm one of the dancers.
an exhibition at Southern Elegance Dance Studio.
Her father recently shared with me several times that she always wanted to learn how to dance.
My instructor and I will be dancing the waltz, which is the hardest ballroom dance.
Annie makes it look easy, of course. She wowed onlookers with her poise, grace, and ability to blindly follow Bob's lead. Dance, just one of the new passions Annie has adopted since Terry and Sybil Park adopted her from Russia with love.
Well, Auntie Rita does not have an accent as far as Russian, but she does have a Southern accent. We were chasing her through the house one day, and we always played with her, and I would always say, I'm going to get you. Well, one day she decided she was going to chase me, and she said, I'm going to get you, Mama. And I looked at Terry, and he said, don't you say a word. She sounds just like you.
She's picked up more than a Southern drawl, like determination to try anything, a strong faith in God, and a keen ability to inspire.
Anybody can do ballroom dancing, regardless of whether they're blind or whatever.
In the meantime, Annie will continue to embark on new adventures, keep her nose in the books, and dance like no one's watching. In Huntsville, David Wood, WHNT News 19.
In January, Annie took on her first competition with a dance professional at the Nashville Stars Dance Spectacular. She says it's always been her dream to be asked to dance at her prom. Instructor Bob Pratico plans to stand in as her date. Together with those moves, we're sure Annie will be the belle of the ball. And we'll be right back.